This is huge for the Houston Rockets. Last night, after a dominating win over the Phoenix Suns, Dillon Brooks was ejected after a scuffle between him, Kevin Durant, and Nick Richards. This has got the entire NBA world talking, and it's raised a lot of questions about Dillon Brooks' availability for these last few games of the regular season and what his availability will look like heading into the postseason. Hello, everybody. I am Donovan Ricondo from Rockets Digest, where we break down all the latest news, rumors, and updates regarding your H-Town team. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Be a part of the first 100 subscribers of this platform. It's going to be great for all Rockets fans. Now, let's get into our story for the day. As we all know, the Rockets had a dominating victory over the Phoenix Suns last night, winning by more than 40 points. That is impressive. Jalen Green went off, scoring more than 30 points last night, and proving why he's one of the best scorers, not only on our team, but in the NBA, period. I'm tired of all this disrespect, saying we want to get someone like Kevin Durant or a better scorer, superstar. Jalen Green is a superstar in the making. He has been proving that in these last few games, and he'll prove it once again in the playoffs. So kudos to him. Kudos to the guys for an all-around team victory. And as an update, still second in the West. Nuggets behind us. Lakers followed by the Grizzlies. Tonight we play the Lakers, which will be a huge matchup in terms of tiebreakers and what that scenario would look like. So huge game today. Make sure to tune into tonight's game. It should definitely be a good one going up against Luka and LeBron. Now, everyone is talking about the scuffle last night between Dillon Brooks, Nick Richards, and Kevin Durant. Everyone's been talking about it. Huge ejection for Dillon Brooks. And ultimately, it did not have effect on the game. If anything, the Rockets played even better once he left. They feed off of that. Coach Ime Udoka mentioned that in his post-game conference, saying that his guys, they love that stuff. That is what energizes this team to go to that next level. And so for those of you that missed it, I want to give you all the rundown of what happened last night. He said, or Yahoo Report says, Brooks was called for a simple foul while trying to guard Durant at the top of the key late in the first half. But well after the initial whistle was blown, Brooks kept making a play for the ball, which led to a bit of shoving between Brooks, Durant, and Nick Richards. But when Brooks didn't let go and started yelling at the official, he was quickly hit with a pair of technicals and thrown out of the game. Once the official ejected Brooks, he briefly tried to charge at the official. An assistant held him back, and then the two left the floor for the locker room. That is Yahoo Reports reporting that about the situation last night. And so emotions were high last night. It's, Dillon Brooks is going up against KD, guarding him. Everyone knows about the rumors, KD possibly leaving, coming to a team like the Rockets. And so I wouldn't put it past Dillon Brooks, trying to want to send a message of, this is who we are. This is a team that you would be coming to. Or maybe it's we don't want you here. And so I find this whole situation to be very, very interesting. But the fact that he was ejected it's still kind of mind-boggling. It wasn't a huge scuffle. It was, there was some laughter. There was a minor push-off. There was, not really face-to-face contact. It wasn't until the ref went in and gave those technicals where, Dillon Brooks kind of went off. Coach Ime Udoka had this to say about the matter last night. He said the reason he reacted that way is because they only pointed him instead of saying the double technicals he's referring to, and so he thought it was just on him. Udoka said after the game, "That's where I felt they were wrong. That you have to clearly make it a double, and he maybe doesn't react the way he does." But that was the explanation I got. Was he reacted that way? I told the official why. So, it was a double tech. They gave a tech to Nick Richards as well. They gave one to Dillon Brooks. Dillon Brooks did not see the ref point to him and Nick Richards, which is why there was a frustration and anger towards him, charging the ref. Is it the best idea to charge a ref? No, definitely not. But still, the ejection is something we see a lot in the NBA these days. Guys getting ejected much for nothing, really. And Stephen A. Smith had something to say about this matter as well. He did mention that he tweeted out last night. He says, "This is driving me crazy. I'm watching the Houston Rockets versus Suns game. Dillon Brooks did not deserve to get thrown out of this game. A physical play versus KD Trey 5 for sure. Cussing at the referee initial for the foul call. But to eject the man over that, come on, let the players play." Not surprising coming from, Stephen A. Smith. A lot of the older generation, like to see people play. I like to see people play. I think that's what a lot of the fans want. But this is, very expected from the NBA these days. This kind of, small, minor interactions between players that I get it. You want to protect your fan base. You want to, families coming in. You don't want to see anything escalate like we did when those other teams spilled into the front row last night. And so I get it. On one level, I get it. But this kind of behavior isn't awful. Dillon Brooks did overreact a little bit, but I don't think it meant for him to be ejected from the game. Now, what does this mean for Rockets fans? What is the implications for this? Is he going to get suspended? What does all that look like? Well, according to our reports here, we see that he will not be suspended. He will only be suspended for a game if he picks up another technical foul, which will be his 16th of the regular season. And then after he picks up that 16th, he will be suspended for one game. That is one game he will be suspended for. There's some fines that come along with that. I'm not paying them, so I'm not really covering that. But for each 2 additional technical fouls that Brooks gets after the 16, so if he gets like 18 or if he gets 20, it's always a 1-game suspension for each one of those. But what about the playoffs? Does this carry on into the playoffs? What does that look like? Thankfully, these fouls do not add up to the playoffs. If a player, once the season ends, then their technical fouls reset. So if, say, he does not get his 16th technical foul in the remaining 7 games left, it'll go back down to 0. And so in the postseason, they don't start suspending players until their 7th technical foul. So as you see there, fouls 1 through 6 just result in fines, which will only affect Brooks, not necessarily the entire team. But once you hit the 7, you get that $5,000 fine, and you get a 1-game suspension. And then each 2 technical fouls after that is another game. So you got 9, 11, 13, 15, so on and so forth. I don't think it'll get to 9, 11, 13, but those are the rules. But it is slightly concerning. We know Dillon Brooks plays with a lot of energy. We understand that is his brand of basketball. And Jalen Green mentioned this at the end of the game, kind of in a joking manner. He said, that guy's just got to let things go. Like, you don't got to get all these technical fouls. And so there's always a little bit of truth in statements like that. And so I think that's a conversation that they will have, if not they have not already had, with Dillon Brooks, and trying to manage his emotions when it gets to things like that, especially in the postseason. You don't want to even go near 7 technical fouls. Try not to escalate situations. There are things that the team are trying to accomplish, and Dillon Brooks is a necessary piece. He's a starter. He's a guy that needs to be on the court if we want to win in the first round, the second round, get to that Western Conference Finals, and hopefully get to the NBA Finals. And so that's one thing that this guy is going to have to manage. I'm sure his team has talked about it. He's at 15 technical fouls right now. If he gets another one, he might miss one of these, last few games of the regular season. Of course, we're trying to still get that 2nd seed. A lot of things can happen. But we all know emotions must be kept in check come postseason. And Dillon Brooks, I believe, will do just that. Let me know what you think about the ejection in the comments. Let me know who you guys think we are going to play in the first round of the playoffs this season. And we'll see you next time on Rockets Digest. I've been Donovan Ricondo. Have a great rest of your day.